Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're enjoying what you're reading. And remember, if you're not enjoying what you're reading, stop it and move on to something else. Today's book, as you can tell by the title, is Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grann. But if you've watched every video, and I assume some of you haven't, this was actually the first book I reviewed on my YouTube vlog, I guess you would say. Sorry, I'm a little screwy today. Yeah, it was the first book I ever reviewed, and I give it a different rating this time around. Anyways, I'll give you the blurb from the back, as I usually do, and then I'll give it my review and my thoughts on the book. In the 1920s, the richest people per capita in the world were members of the Osage Nation in Oklahoma. After oil was discovered beneath their land, they rode in chauffeured cars and lived in mansions. Then, one by one, the Osage began to be killed. Molly Burkhart watched as her family became a prime target. Her relatives were shot and poisoned. Other Osage were also dying under mysterious circumstances, and many of those who investigated the crimes were themselves murdered. As the death toll rose, the case was taken up by the newly created FBI and its young, secretive director, J. Edgar Hoover. Struggling to crack the mystery, Hoover turned to a former Texas Ranger named Tom White, who put together an undercover team, including a Native American agent. They infiltrated this last remnant of the Wild West, and together with the Osage, began to expose one of the most chilling conspiracies in American history. When I previously read this almost 2 years ago, I gave this a 3.75 out of 5. I upgraded it to a 4. I can't say why I upgraded it to a 4, but maybe it was a combination of that. I finally was starting to get the final part of the book where the author, I think one of the last chapters, I'm going to say the final part, I think, when he's trying to piece it together himself, David Grann. I think he's an investigative journalist. I'm not exactly certain. I think that's what he is. But, when he starts to place it together and start to realize that this was probably the Burkhart murders were part of a larger, much wider conspiracy than he first thought, I think is really fascinating and really intriguing. And I think that's what really caught me this time and really intrigued me. And I think also having a sense of where the story goes also helped. It's something you probably, if you do read it again, because I think you get a better sense of what the story is about. And I think that's probably what happened to me. I read it for one of my book clubs. Yes, it doesn't have all the markings, but I own a copy, so I didn't take a copy from my library. Just in case we have more people who want to join us and, and that sort of thing. So it's not a library copy by any means. So in any case, I really like this book. I really highly recommend you read it. It's very disturbing. And to consider that it happened over 100 years ago, almost, in some aspects, most aspects, I should say. I think is really intriguing, and they still don't they kind of know because they still don't have an idea of who was in, at least the author doesn't. But it's a really incredibly interesting piece of investigative journalism. I wish there was a somewhat biography on him. He has notes on sources. He also wrote the book, The Lost City of Z. I know I'm saying it wrong as a Canadian, but whatever, I don't care. That also was turned into a movie. I was trying to see if there was at least a short biography on him. Where I have a feeling he lived in New York. So, I mean, as of this printing, which was over 10 years ago, I think this one came out in 20... Well, this edition came out in 2023, because it has soon to be a motion picture thing on here. But the original printout came out in 2017, so the book is almost 10 years old. Actually, I think it really... No, yeah, in 2017 it came out. So, it's almost 10 years old, I don't know. And I wish they gave a bit of a blurb about himself, but I guess he didn't want to. That's totally fine. Anyways, that was Killers of the... Yes, and the movie is also really good and delves into actually different aspects of the book, of the case. So if you want to watch that, go ahead. I should note that if you do want to watch the film, it is only available on Apple Plus. So if you're an Apple Plus subscriber, so Apple TV, it's available on Apple TV for streaming. So if you want to watch it, you can watch it there. There aren't, as far as I know, there are no available DVDs of the movie. And it's 3.5 hours long. So if you want to spend, I guess, if you've got time, I would probably recommend watching it. It was really well done, especially by Lily Gladstone. She was the one who played Molly Burkhart in this book. In the movie. Yeah, she played in the movie. She portrayed her. So, really interesting book. Really fascinating about... he mainly focused on the birth of the FBI and how it all... and its corruptness and... Yeah, exactly. And how J. Edgar Hoover wouldn't... Somewhat. He somewhat deals with J. Edgar Hoover's, but he mainly deals with the investigation and the fallout of said investigation. So anyways, that was Killers of the Flower Moon, Osage Murders, and the Birth of the FBI by David Grann. I hope you pick a copy up and read this really fascinating read, and really, I would say, very fascinating and very enlightening read. Anyway, and disturbing as well. Anyways, as just before I forget, remember, if you like what you see in here, please like and subscribe. Please visit my social media if you can. I mainly, on my social media, I post links to this video, so be it as it may, I do not. Yeah. And I also have a link to a bookshop.org site where you can purchase this book and many other books and give me some money for expenses if possible. Yeah, expenses. Anyways, I look forward to talking to you soon, and bye for now.